No, because like when I really sit here and I think about how my ex literally came into my life when I was 18 years old and still in high school and started grooming me, love bombing, all of these different things, acting like he was my best friend, there for me. He made sure everybody in his circle showed me respect. The level of respect he gave me made me feel like I owed him that same level of respect. For me to finally give him a chance when I was 21 years old and I had just gotten out of a breakup with my ex-fiance. I got engaged and we ended up breaking up on some BS. And he was there for me. You know, he would answer the call in the middle of the night when I couldn't sleep because, you know, he worked overnight. He would come get me if I was like somewhere and I needed a ride because we only lived like 20 minutes from each other. And he lied about his age. When I was 18, he told me he was 25. When I got with him at 21, he said that he was 27 going on 28. We used to have the same friend group, and majority of the people in the friend group, he told that he was the same age as what I knew. So, and these girls were around my age. So he was talking to a bunch of young girls, lying about his age to them. For me to be 21 years old, having a hard time with my family and where I was living at, and he moved me in with him into his apartment in Brooklyn. And things were cool at first, you know, no problem. Let's even wait before we even moved together in Brooklyn. We were dating. I didn't know anything about love bombing at this point. But this man, like I said, he worked overnights. He would get off of work, go home, take a shower, change, and then come straight to me and be like, you know, I'll just sleep in the car. Like, it's okay, you can drive, because he helped me get my license, right? Because I had a permit. Nobody would teach me how to drive. And then he helped me get my license. So he would let me just drive the car and stuff so I can get practice before my test. And he would just sit in the passenger seat. He would go to bed. And I had a best friend at the time, and she had a baby, and I used to hang out with her every day. So, you know, he was a tag along. He hang with us, and then she ended up getting with another guy. She had a baby with this newer guy, and then the new guy was with us, and we was like a quadruple, okay? We were together like every day. Even when the other guy wasn't there, he was with me. I'll be with her. He'll be in the car asleep. So we would just be doing our thing, going places, going to Great Adventure. We was chilling in Patterson. We was having cookouts. We would be, you know, having a good time. Okay. They're all of the grooming, all of the love bombing. I would go to his family house upstate. Everybody's like, oh my God, he must really love you. He faithful. He opening doors. He don't look at other women. He playing this. That's why I say it's so important for y'all to make sure you are looking out for your family members when they're dating and they're young. Be in a business. Make sure they can bring the dude to the house. Stop telling them that they can't date. They're going to date anyway. Bring the people to the house. Influence the relationship. Don't just let them be out here. But anyways, like I said, where I was living at, it was not giving. I'm not even going to talk about that too much, but it wasn't giving. It was time for me to move out. And he was like, you can come live with me. That's a mistake. I'm not going to say it's the biggest mistake of my life because it led me to being where I am today, where I'm self-sufficient. I know a lot. I'm not as naive as I was. I'm on my own. I learned how to take care of myself. I learned how to be a decent grown woman. I know how to be on my dean, you feel me? But it was just a situation to get me because, like I said, I am from New Jersey. He lived all the way in Brooklyn. When I said we only lived 20 minutes from each other, it's because he was staying with his moms. He didn't know how to live on his own. So he just had his apartment in Brooklyn and he didn't live there. He just paid the rent on it and went back home to his mother. So when I moved in with him, he said he hadn't been in that apartment for 10 years and it looked like it. Everything was covered in dust. It was like, you ever see the episode of Hoarders? It looked like Hoarders. Every room was covered in like ashes and cigarettes and clothes and food and water bottles with ashes in it and leftover like residue from like it was freaking horrific. If it gives me an option to add the pictures of what I was dealing with, which I don't even think I have a full picture of exactly how it looks. I have a picture of how the apartment looked when I cleaned it out and had everything just stacked up in the living room. But he refused to help me clean the apartment out. Like, like I said, this guy was disgusting. He did a lot of grooming. Like when I was young, I wasn't just no square. I wasn't going to like be the type of girl that come in and get a job and then a dude takes my money and stuff like that. So once he realized I wasn't that type of chick, what he would do is he would take his check, spend all his check, and then we left at the beginning of the month with rent, groceries, all of this stuff. And he knew I wasn't willing to be irresponsible. So that's what his MO became. Spend all his money up, buy stuff on. You remember when I got that, or when I came in on Thursday with this, or you remember when I got this, or when I got that? Yeah, I bought all that on credit. So I got to go get this for this person. By the time he's done all of this stuff on credit, his whole check is spent. Only way for the bills to get paid was if I paid it. And on top of that, having to clean the house myself. He didn't help clean out none of that stuff. Like I said, that apartment looked like hoarders. I did it myself. And then when I got that apartment to look spick and span beautiful, he would come in from work, roll a blunt, and ash on the floor, ash on the table, ash in the room, putting the house right back to where it was, right? And shit was just filthy. And let's even talk about before I moved in with him. He had one job, and he got fired because he put his hands on a customer. So when I was working 2 jobs at that time. I had a steady check, and then the other check, I was a waitress. We were making bread. I'm talking about bread. So when he wasn't working, guess who was giving him money to afford his expenses? Me, because I'm a young girl. And like I said, we were friends since I was 18 years old. We started dating at 21. This is when I was 21 years old. So I'd known him for years. He was here for me through breakups and stuff like that. It wasn't until I became 21 that we started to actually be around each other in person, because we met online. He met me online when I was in high school. So you gotta be careful with these online sites. You think you 18, you think you grown, you can mess with who you want to mess with, and that's not always the case. These men are who they are, and they sit up the way that they sit up. Like he telling me stories about the 16-year-old girl he had living in his mom's house and all types of stuff, and they liked each other, all of this stuff. You understand what I'm saying? Like, well, he ain't mess with her. That's what he said till she got older. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I should have heard as red flags when I was a young girl myself, being groomed myself. And that was another girl who had an unfortunate living situation, and he took and moved in with his mom. It's always, certain people have MOs. But like I said, he started spending up all of the money, destroying the house, like doing all types of stuff. And the cheating was horrific. He was cheating in the building. He was cheating down the block. He was cheating at work. He was messing with my friend. I guess he went back and started messing with his ex-girlfriend, because that's the series I really need to go ahead and really say something about. Because why, when I left him and I'm living in a shelter, his ex-girlfriend is on my block. She's popping up at the shelter, popping up down the block from the shelter, popping up with niggas, groups of dudes. And yeah, I'm talking about you. Her name starts with a K. Her last name starts with a W. I'm not going to say her name on my site because I don't need to put nobody's name on my site, but you know what you did. If the police officers want to know what your name is, I would gladly give it to them. But I left these people alone. They didn't leave me alone. She had groups of niggas. And when I say she, it's because she's the only person I've seen. I didn't see him until recently. If anybody has been following me, I was on TikTok all of the time. I disappeared because a whole group of people came after me and tried to kill me. And this was about a year ago. This was in October of 2024. That's why I went MIA. And I'm just going to add this one part in there too. When these people came after me, I went into a hospital to get some freaking help. He was standing outside of the hospital on the phone. Not directly outside of the hospital. I had walked all the way around the hospital. I'm trying to find a train. And I ended up popping up near like the east part of the hospital where there's like a separate building. He's standing there talking on the phone with his back turned to me, talking to him, talking about something. Yeah, they already paid me for that. Well, we about to kill this bitch because I need to get some more money. I spent all of that money. And that's when I walked kind of close to him. Not close enough, but I walked past him. He looked at me and squinted to see it was me, and I just kept walking. I was with this guy. He would be cooking, and then I would catch like boric acid on the counter. And then when I would wake up in the morning time, he'd be like, "How you doing? You all right? How you feel? You feel okay?" He would be disrespectful, mistreating my mom. I need to put this out here because if you try to, not know if, bitch, you try to kill me, and it needs to be known what you did. And that ex-girlfriend, you need to leave me alone too. I never messed with him behind your back. He said you just had a baby when I got with him, and you had another boyfriend, your baby's father, who used to be in the same complex as his mother. And when we used to pull up over there, him and the dude used to be ice grilling each other. He said you was with somebody else. This needs to be put out there because y'all people who helped them, who believe them, that karma gonna be for real for y'all. Serious, because you want to be down so bad. Trust me, a narcissist knows how to be the most awesome person. He was my best friend too. But you want to believe him so